Welcome back to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're examining a powerful social phenomenon that shapes behavior through indirect pressure, the chilling effect, also known as the deterrence principle. The chilling effect occurs when the mere threat of possible consequences causes people to self-censor or modify their behavior, even in situations where they have the legal right to proceed. Think of it like a thermostat that's been set too low. People freeze up and restrict their actions, not because they're explicitly told to stop, but because they fear potential repercussions. What makes this mental model particularly significant is how it can silently shape behavior and decision-making across entire groups or organizations without any direct enforcement. A fascinating historical example of the chilling effect emerged during the McCarthy era in 1950s America. During this period, the mere possibility of being accused of communist sympathies led many artists, writers, and intellectuals to avoid certain topics or associations entirely. Hollywood screenwriters began self-censoring their scripts, professors modified their teaching materials, and librarians quietly removed controversial books from shelves. What's particularly noteworthy is that many of these actions weren't legally required. People voluntarily restricted their behavior due to the perceived threat of investigation or blacklisting. This period demonstrates how the mere possibility of consequences can be as effective at controlling behavior as actual rules or laws. In the modern business world, Twitch provides an interesting example of managing the chilling effect in their content creator community. When they first implemented their content moderation policies, they noticed that streamers were becoming overly cautious, avoiding even clearly acceptable content for fear of violating unclear rules. Some creators stopped streaming certain games entirely, while others became hesitant to engage in spontaneous interactions with their audience. Recognizing this unintended consequence, Twitch developed detailed guidelines and public case studies of moderation decisions, helping creators understand exactly where the boundaries lay. By reducing uncertainty, they helped minimize the chilling effect, while still maintaining appropriate content standards. So, how can we apply our understanding of the chilling effect in our daily lives? First, practice boundary mapping in your professional and personal relationships. Explicitly discuss expectations and limitations, rather than letting uncertainty create self-imposed restrictions. It's like having a clear trail map instead of wandering in fog. You can move confidently within known boundaries, rather than staying far from all edges out of caution. Second, implement the courage audit technique. Regularly examine areas where you might be self-censoring unnecessarily. Ask yourself, am I avoiding this because it's wrong, or because I'm afraid of potential judgment? It's like checking your emotional thermostat to ensure you haven't set it too low out of excessive caution. Third, use the progressive testing method. When entering new situations or relationships, start with small, low-risk actions to gauge the actual rather than imagined consequences. It's like testing the temperature of a pool one toe at a time, instead of avoiding swimming altogether. In conclusion, understanding the chilling effect helps us recognize when fear of potential consequences might be unnecessarily restricting our actions or expression. By being aware of this phenomenon, we can work to create environments where appropriate boundaries exist without fostering excessive self-censorship. In a world where indirect pressures often shape behavior more powerfully than explicit rules, this mental model serves as a crucial tool for maintaining healthy freedom of action while respecting necessary limits. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, may your actions be guided by wisdom rather than fear, your boundaries be clear rather than assumed, and your self-expression be appropriately bold. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by thepodcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free music.